6 months in, and 2023 has already proven to be a stellar year for the small screen. From big and small hits that have taken audiences by wonderful surprise to returning gems that have yet to stumble, we've had plenty of TV shows to keep us enthralled. Too much, to be honest, and because of that, before we jump into the best of the best, here are some honourable mentions. Happy Valley Season 3 just missed this list, ending one of the UK's best dramas on a high, while unfortunately for me, The Bear Season 2 is not airing in the UK until July, so we've left it off this list for the moment. Perry Mason Season 2 also deserves a shout out, showing a market improvement over the first run, even if it did end up getting cancelled. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments as well. Do you think any of those that I just mentioned deserved a spot on the main list? And is there anything you want us to see that we should check out before the year's over? Until then though, I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are the best TV shows of 2023 so far. Number 10, Yellow Jackets Season 2. Back in 2021, the world was enraptured by the story of a crashed airplane and the embattled survivors whose lives were forever changed by its aftermath. And this year, Yellow Jackets has proven its magnificent first season wasn't a one-off. Slipping through time to explore how the survivors have been molded and haunted by their pasts, the season is a twisty, horrible exercise in tension and performance. Directed with high thrills and anchored by sublime work from stars Melanie Lynskey, Juliette Lewis, Christina Ricci, Sophie Thatcher, and Jasmine Savoy Brown. Admittedly, its high character count and time-bending tricks mean it can sometimes get a touch ahead of itself, but Yellow Jackets' sophomore effort nevertheless cements the series as a modern classic, with enough unexpected twists, pathos, heartbreak, and narrative innovation to keep you clambering back for more. Wherever it goes next, and Season 3 is thankfully already on the way, we'll be there day one. Number 9, Shrinking. Created and written by star Jason Segel, Shrinking might be the biggest and most welcome surprise of the year, casting the oft underappreciated funny man as a therapist whose grief upends his life and pushes him into the lives of his patients. Equal parts hilarious and profound, Shrinking's earnest and delicate approach to the hardships of loss and mortality is sentimental but never manipulative, balancing its philosophy with healthy heaps of laughter. It's proof, along with another comedy that I'll get to in a moment, that the sitcom isn't dead just yet. The secret weapon of the show, though, that being Harrison bloody Ford, is also on career best form as Segel's aging mentor. A character facing his own impending death with a level of deadpan humor and profound honesty that Ford seems to be having more fun than he's had on screen in years. Already renewed for a second season, Shrinking offers a deep look into life for all of its joys and pain, and the results so far have been divine. Number 8, Silo. Like Shrinking, Silo is another stealthy hit that has helped put Apple TV on the map this year. But its story of dystopian ambiguity couldn't be further away from Jason Segel's return to the small screen. Adapted from a series of books, Silo may not feel entirely original. The world has ended, its survivors are trapped, and their home may be more than meets the eye, but its moody presentation and remarkable star-studded cast make it feel impressively fresh. Led by a ferocious Rebecca Ferguson, the drama is dark and sinister. A gripping whodunit as well as a cautionary morality play with stunning production design and plenty of heart-stopping action. One of the most thrilling dramas of the year so far, Silo has the potential to grow into something truly special should it maintain its current course. Number 7, Abbott Elementary Season 2. It was one of the best shows released last year, and Abbott Elementary has come back even stronger with its latest season, which is every bit as amusing, comforting, and brilliantly performed as it was, only now even more confident. With some extra episodes this time, hey, remember the good old days of the 22-episode sitcom? Well, they're back, and more defined character dynamics, this wonderful mockumentary comedy about an underfunded school in Philadelphia is still one of the funniest things on TV, and you can see it running for many years to come. Also worth shouting out, of course, is the ensemble cast, as led by writer/star Quinta Brunson, Tyler James Williams, and Cheryl Lee Ralph, who are also effortlessly charming and bursting with chemistry. You can't help but smile watching them strut their stuff. The sitcom as a whole has had its ups and downs over the last decade, but Abbott Elementary is a surefire sign that those dark days are finally behind us. Number 6, Beef. We should have never doubted the pairing of Ali Wong and Steven Yeun, but even so, Beef was far better than most were expecting, mainly because of how dramatically its story swerved into something the trailers didn't tease. Initially sold as a comedy drama about two 30-somethings who enter in a petty war after an incident of road rage, Beef follows Wong and Yeun as their clash becomes a place to hide and vent from the increasing trouble of their lives. Career hardships, romantic trouble, it's all tossed aside as they pursue their revenge. A hilarious and powerfully performed tale of trauma and insecurity, the bracing dramedy is achingly funny, but at its best serves as a moving and painfully relatable ode to finding peace in life. The lead pair are at their absolute best and worth the price of admission alone, but hey, it's just kinda nice to see a Netflix original actually be good in the year of our Lord 2023. Number 5, Poker Face. In Rian Johnson's swift crime comedy drama, the irreplaceable Natasha Lyonne plays an intuitive casino worker who, whilst on the run after witnessing a murder, is roped into a series of bizarre mysteries week after week. Simply put, Poker Face is exactly the kind of show that writes itself, made with a filmmaker and star who are tailor-made to the world that they've created. The mysteries are amusing, clever, and juicy, and Lyonne carries them through every last-minute twist with one of the finest performances of her career. At once its own unique beast and a colourful ode to the classic investigations of Columbo, Poker Face is the perfect fix for those of you in love with Nights Out. But it's so well crafted and just plain fun that it becomes so much more than Johnson's previous work would have you believe. Hell, it's difficult to think of a recent show that's been this comfortably enjoyable. Poker Face is the real deal, and bring on Season 2. Number 4, Somebody Somewhere Season 2. One of the most unsung shows currently on air, the healing comedy drama Somebody Somewhere was already great in its first season, but has become altogether impeccable with its sophomore outing. The tender, quietly amusing tale of a woman in the midst of a midlife crisis after the death of her sister, the series tackles the minutiae of life in all of its nuance, heartbreak, joy, and light. It's the kind of steady character drama that sneaks up on you, making you contemplate the musings that it makes in relation to your own life. HBO have many great shows on the air at the moment, but few can claim to be as life-affirming and memorable as Somebody Somewhere, which is elevated to greatness by its impressively nuanced cast. If you're seeking out a new show this year, then you won't regret making it this one. Number 3, The Last of Us. As I just mentioned, you can always count on HBO to deliver the goods, and this year their big hit has been a long time in the making. A deeply disturbing and daring adaptation of the beloved video game series The Last of Us. Starring Pedro Pascal as weathered survivor Joel and a scene-stealing Bella Ramsey as his young companion Ellie, The Last of Us gripped everyone who watched it from almost the first frame. When the world is thrown into a deadly apocalypse and those left in its wake are forced to contend with demons, both real and emotional. Methodically paced, crafted with astounding production design and gripping direction, Craig Mazin's adaptation of one of the best games ever made had a lot riding on its shoulders, but proved to be a worthy rendition of its source material. Sad, hopeful, cautionary, and bold, its second season has big shoes to fill. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait a while for the next leg of Joel and Ellie's journey, but the wait, I'm sure, will be more than worth it. This is how video game adaptations should be done, and good lord, what a showpiece it is for its two leads. Number 2, Barry Season 4. Nobody really knew what to expect from Barry's final season, given the show's impressive elusiveness and tone changes, but it's safe to say nobody could have even jokingly predicted this. Don't take that as a knock though, because in true Bill Hader fashion, Barry's swan song is also its best chapter, taking so many big swings that it's hard to catch your breath at times. With brutal time jumps and violent confrontations, it's shocking and subversive, directed with attentive care and mighty, mighty thrills. Hader, ever the triple threat, does his best work ever as the show's star writer and director, whilst Henry Winkler, Sarah Goldberg, and Stephen Root bring this project to life without a single flaw. Wherever this cast goes next, their futures look very bright indeed. As for Barry himself though, well, you'll have to watch it to see where the Hitman story ends, but rest assured it works on every front. Number 1, Succession Season 4. But of course, the best show of the year so far has to be Succession. While in hindsight it was probably not a surprise that creator Jesse Armstrong and co nailed the landing, there was no guarantee that they'd be able to thread everything together for a satisfying series finale, especially when the writers themselves weren't even sure right up until the very end whether or not this was going to be it for the show, or if a 5th season would be needed. Following the Roy family and their crafty foes and associates as their world and reputations implode around them, Succession's final chapter is its best yet, delivering episode after episode full of daring twists, hugely dramatic revelations, and heartbreaking character confrontations that have been 4 seasons in the making. It doesn't stop being funny along the way either though, even if this is the most tragic season that culminates in an ending that I'm genuinely worried I might not stop thinking about. And what makes that even better is that's just the writing I'm talking about. Kieran Culkin, Sarah Snook, and Matthew Macfadyen have somehow managed to outdo themselves in their respective roles, whilst Jeremy Strong goes out on top as ever, and even bit players like James Cromwell return for short but hugely memorable scenes. Succession is the best show of 2023 so far, and honestly, it's not even close. It's going to take some beating come December. It's an all-timer, and it's great we can say with confidence now that it's officially nailed the ending. So, that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think about my picks here? And like I said in the intro, are there any other shows you wanted to see? Let me know, and while you're down there, if you could, please give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.